is Sunday, September 5th, 2021, and here's this week's balcony garden update. So now we're into September. You can see that this plant is pretty much dying here. It does have tomatoes on it still. Doesn't look very healthy at all, but it did produce quite a bit this summer, so we are going to chalk this one up as a success. I know it's hard to believe that this plant here, this cherry tomato plant, was all grown from seed from one cherry tomato. This was indeed a success as well. Did not get as many tomatoes as the ones that are planted in the ground, but it has been producing. This one is also considered a success. So let's venture over to my sister's place and see what's going on there this week. Okay, so let's have a look at these tomatoes here. You can see some dead branches, some dead leaves. Still see some tomatoes here. You can clearly still see budding and flowers. Nice orange tomatoes. Way down here. Here on the second plant, we've also got a lot of tomatoes. You can see some of the red ones through, red ones, green ones. And just like the other plant, they still have flowering and budding, which means you're still going to get hopefully lots of tomatoes this year. Now this plant here also, you can see it's got tomatoes. You can see a lot of it is brown and dried up. Tomato here. There's still lots of flowering. This is an interesting plant that came out of nowhere. Still flowering. To give you an idea, it just grew from where the tomato plants were. So as we established, this is probably something from last year or something that was composted. I still believe this is cucumber. It just got the flowers so far. We'll see if that becomes anything. And here we have pepper plant. Got some peppers on it. Not quite sure why this pepper plant didn't adapt too well this year, but very slow to grow, very slow to change color. Interesting. What's interesting is it's still budding. So you can see here, a little windy here tonight. A little windy here today, but you can see the budding here. So who knows, maybe this will make some peppers before the season is done. Here we have the jalapeno pepper plant. This plant has produced a lot of hot peppers. There's a couple more red ones here. You can see it's still flowering. Take a close look, you can see it's also got some budding on it. Some more budding up here. And this plant has been an overly amazing success this summer. And here we have hot pepper plant. And this one has grown a hot pepper. Now this one's interesting. This one is flowering, some more here. This one seems to be only capable of making one pepper at a time. So as I pick one, another one starts to grow. I guess this plant would be more successful in the ground. And here we have the Hungarian pepper plant. Well, remember, this one made one big jumbo pepper earlier this year. Now you can see we've got a couple little peppers coming out of it here. Another one starting here. We have more flowering on this plant. Hopefully this time maybe we'll get more than one pepper. I'll keep an eye on this one and see what happens. That's funny because once again, as they've just written off the strawberry plant for the season, and lo and behold, a strawberry is growing. And for the most part, this plant, the rest of it seems to be done. Speaking of successful plants, here we are back at the onions again. These are absolutely amazing. I continue to pick them and use them, and more keep on growing. And you can see over here in the corner, that's some skinny ones, not so tall. Here's another one poking through. And these are without a doubt the result of the roots that were replanted and another onion growing back. Now over here, these are the garlic plants. And you can see they got lots of greens on them, lots of greens that have been picked off them. And hopefully there's some garlic growing under the soil there. Now over here in the corner where there was a garlic plant, but there doesn't appear to be any more, so that one obviously didn't make it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to plant onion over here. So here we have, this was the roots. You see the bottom, the roots on the bottom of an onion. So dig a hole here. Bury it there in the ground. So that is either going to produce another onion before this year is done, or you might see an onion there in the spring. Time will tell. And then as we report weekly, we have the this was the lemon seed plant. You can see it just keeps growing more leaves, but once again, not much to report here. It's getting a little bigger, but it's just a bunch of leaves. As you can see, it's a little windy out today. I guess that's normal for September. At least it's still warm out. It's a very nice day. Well, you can see how we've progressed through the summer in the balcony garden this year. We're into September now, which means we're heading into the home stretch for this season. But it doesn't mean that we cannot grow things over the winter. Those in turn could end up being successful plants in next summer's balcony garden. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.